Hi guys, welcome to the new river course season. This is my first session in one of my favourite swims on the Severn, so I'm hoping for a great start and continuing for the rest of season 2. So let's crack on because I'm itching to get going. So here we go, first cast of the new season, the upstream rod. I've got 3 8mm Robin Red pellets on the hair rig and with a 3-ounce block end feeder, again filled with barbel mixed ground bait and hemp, and I've launched that probably 3/4 of the way across, but I'll vary that between halfway across and mid-channel every alternative cast, I think. Downstream rod for a 2.5-ounce block end feeder filled with hemp and barbel mixed ground bait and a piece of meat hair rigged on a size 8 hook. Just cast that down about 20 metres, a third of the way across the river. Stick the bait runner on and I'll just settle down and hopefully my efforts will be rewarded with a few barbel and chub. There's a little tap, a little bit of an indication. We'll give that a strike. Yeah, and there's a fish on. Well, that's the first proper bite of this new season. It feels like a chub. Definitely not a barbel, but it's pulling back quite strongly. Just make sure the drag's set properly just in case, but it's definitely not a barbel. Reasonable sized chub, no doubt. Yeah, it's a chub. Probably around about the £2 mark, maybe a little bit less. But we're happy to catch that into the net, and that avoids the blank. So new river season's off to a reasonable start. Fingers crossed for some barbel showing up, but I'm happy with a chub to start with. I'll just rest it up. Given this chub about a minute's rest before unhooking it in the net. I'll just place it on the unhooking mat before showing it to the camera. There it is, River Severn chub. Round about the £2 mark. We'll plop her in the river. And finally letting it go. Yeah, nice and strong. Turn the net over. And let it swim away. Okay, so I've been joined by my mate. There's a little rattle.
Anything? Yeah. Can I make a suggestion?
Get a bit closer.
Yeah, put your eyes closer.
I like to hear the beat.
Yeah. Dubstep or breathe? Chub.
Nice little chub.
gone. It'll count.
It's only small, but all welcome.
Yeah, very nice. Mint condition.
Yeah.
Maybe half a pound.
No.
Three quarters maybe.
Three. Yeah.
That's a job.
Just let it go.
There you go, mate.
And away.
Down there.
Well, there's a bite. And this feels like a barbel. Yeah, this is definitely a barbel. Pulling really strong. It feels like a reasonable size one as well. Well, if we can land this, it'll be the first of the new season. Middle of the afternoon. If I can land this, the long wait is finally over. Been waiting months to get out on the rivers. Just put the other rod to one side and then swap them over so I can play this into the gap in the reeds. Yeah, it's definitely given a good account of itself, so we'll be very careful. We don't want to lose it, obviously. It feels quite heavy, but I don't think it's that big. Ooh, big splash. Pulling hard now again. Going for those final lunges as barbel often do. And it's into the net. Barbel number 1 this season. Made up with that. And just rest it up before unhooking it. Get it into position, just make sure it's the right way up. And secure. Looks quite strong in the net. So we've rested it. Just retrieve the other rod, get it out the way. A reasonable sized fish, round about the £6 mark I reckon. So we'll put it on the unhooking mat. Get the hook out. And we'll plop it back in the river. Give it a bit more of a rest before showing it to the camera. So it's been in there now for a minute or two. Back on the unhooking mat. And there it is. Lovely River Severn barbel. Worthwhile coming today. Just hope there's some more out there with my name on them. Give it the final rest before letting it go. So we'll let it go. Oh, and it's already swum out the net. So we didn't have to let it go. It freed itself. Just partaking of a sandwich. And there's a good bite. And that's on. And that's pulling really strongly. That's got to be a barbel. Yeah, I'm having that as a bar. That's definitely a barbel. That feels like a reasonable size fish as well. That's pulling really, really strong. And just swap the rods over like in the first barbel I caught. Gives me a better angle to get it into this gap in the reeds. Just play it in steadily. Keep it coming in easily. Coming closer all the time now. Ooh, made a bit of a lunge then. Another lunge. Just get the net. Staying down deep. It's coming to the surface now. Yeah, it looks like a decent barbel. Ease it into the net. Get in. Yes, success. That's brilliant. Barbel number 2. More than welcome. And just leave her in the river. Let it recover because it's put up a really good fight. And just retrieve the other rod. And that wasn't going to catch anything because the meat's come off. to one side while I sort this other barbel out. So it's rested for a while now. I'm going to unhook it. Yeah, that's a decent barbel. Put up a good scrap. Just take the hook out. Right the corner of the mouth. Put it straight back in the river. Give it another little rest before showing it to the camera. Right, about a minute later. Yeah, quite lively in the net still. And there it is, barbel, round about £8, pushing £8 anyway. Delighted with that. Give it another rest before releasing it. So it's had a good rest now. Set up the other two rods now to recast whilst resting the fish. And away she swims, none the worse for its adventure. Just baiting up the downstream rod with a fresh piece of meat. And there's a take on the upstream rod on the Robin Reds. Yeah, that's a fish on. And that feels like another barbel. That is a barbel, number 3. Just coming in steadily. Not put up as much fight as the other two, but it's definitely a barbel. This ain't no chub. Reasonable size by the feel of it. Perhaps the smallest of the 3. Just get the other rod out the way. That's starting to pull a bit now. Broke the surface. Definitely a barbel. Usual lunges towards the end. So that's all 3 barbel of hook so far fallen to the robin reds. And into the net. There you go. So that's turning out to be a really good session. 3 barbel so far and 2 chub. So we've lested it. It's been well rested now. Just get ready to unhook it. Place it carefully on the hooking mat. Oops. Bit of a stumble. Give it another rest after it's been unhooked. Although it looks really strong in the net, we'll give it a few minutes. It's been well rested again. There it is. River Severn barbel, number 3.
Ah, you swine.
Stood on my landing net handle. And that crack definitely cracked. Not happy with that. So we've rested it up again before releasing it. Oh, and that's the landing net handle definitely cracked in half. Luckily there's some kind of rubber round the end which is holding it together. I'll just struggle to release this. So looks like I'm going to have to buy myself another landing net handle unless I can fix it, but experience tells me that it's best to buy new. And I'm just starting to pack up because of a broken landing net handle, and there's a bite on the downstream rod with meat on the hair rig. It feels like a decent fish, but pretty sure it's a chub. It's not a barbel. Yeah, I just decided to pack up because I didn't really want to risk catching a barbel and trying to land it with that broken landing net. The upstream rod's already packed down, well, he's stored on the tripod. Yeah, it's a chub. It's quite a decent one though. This could be awkward trying to land this. You can see the kink in the landing net handle. Trying to push that out, and all it's doing is folding over. This is going to be tricky. It's a shame because I was hoping to fish into dark on the first session, but that's not to be. Anyway, chub's in the landing net and we'll see how I manage with that. quite lively in the net, so I'm not going to mess around. Just try and unhook it in the landing net. Quick show to the camera and then straight back into the river. Seems very lively in the landing net, so not a problem releasing it fairly quickly, I don't think. Yeah, that landing net's well and truly knackered. Just hope we can get a replacement for next week. Just a quick unhook. Quick show to the camera. Yeah, 2.5, maybe pushing 3, but nice fish to finish the session with under difficult circumstances or unusual circumstances. And there it goes, back into the river. Fight another day. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you really enjoyed the video. And if you did, please like, share and subscribe.